up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. We are finally back. And if you're new here, my name is Natalia, also known as Chef Rudakova, and today we'll be making with you s'mores. But of course, not ordinary s'mores. We'll be making extraordinary s'mores. We're gonna work on shape, taste, and colors, hopefully improving all of them. Before we start cooking though, here's a quick clarification about s'mores. If you're not from North America, you might not know what s'mores are. And I myself had to Google it the first time I came across this dessert. So, s'mores are a very popular campfire dessert consisting of 2 graham crackers, a marshmallow, and chocolate. And usually they are toasted. So, what are we gonna do with our adaptation of s'mores, you may ask? Easy. We're going to make them in the shape of pistachios. So our shells are going to be graham crackers, and inside we'll have homemade marshmallows with chocolate. So without further ado, let's start. So the first thing we're going to work on in this recipe is our shells. And as I've said previously, we're going to make them from graham crackers, but we're not going to bake them. If you want, go ahead, they're very easily cooked, but we're not going to do it for the sake of time and also wide accessibility to this type of crackers or biscuits, cookies. If you are in North America, you can find them easily in your supermarkets, but if you're not, you can also use digestive cookies, which are very similar to graham crackers. They're also made from whole wheat flour. They're not as snappy, and there is difference in sugar consistency, but they're just as fine for this recipe. So we're gonna use them. So set up your food processor, drop a few biscuits inside and blitz them. So the consistency we're looking for here are small crumbs like this. Next, add a little bit of cold butter and mix again. Remember that when you're making shells like that, it's important for the butter to be cold because you don't want it to melt while you're mixing it in the food processor. The food processor increases the temperature because of the tension of the blades, so it's important to have a cold butter, not ice cold, but just cold. And also don't overmix the mixture, it will melt again. Now, you're probably wondering, what are we going to use to mold our pistachio shells? That's a fair question. Of course, you can use specifically made shells for pistachios, but we of course don't have any. So we're going to use our imagination and DIY a little bit. My idea was to use Kinder Surprise, Kinder Joy packaging to mold our shells. Of course, it's going to be more of an egg shape, but we're going to trim them a little bit and give them more of a pistachio shell shape. And if you have better ideas, let me know in the comments below. Woohoo! When it comes to baking and cooking in generally, it's all about consistency. So make sure that you use the same amount of your cracker mix in each of the shells. I'm using here 2 tablespoons. Now we're going to press our shells. First, press the whole mixture to the bottom of the shell, like that, with your thumb, and then start pushing so it slides on the sides, like that. So that's my method, but if you have your method and it works better, or just the same, you use your method. Now, because it's a no-bake recipe, you can put all your shells in the freezer for about half an hour. And in half an hour, you get something like that. So these are the shells that we have right now. Right now they look more like egg shells, but we're going to trim them with a rasp to give them more of a pistachio shell shape and also to make sure that they are stable when you put them on a plate. Now the easy part is over, the shells are done, and I've put them away in the freezer for now so they don't melt while I'm preparing all the other parts of our dessert. So now I'm going to melt some chocolate. You can use any type of chocolate you like. I'm using here dark chocolate, and I'm going to melt it now over bain-marie or double boiler and add a little bit of cream. And also make sure that you temper your chocolate before you add the cream inside to make the temperatures more or less even, so the chocolate doesn't clump when you mix them together. The reason that I've used cream for this recipe is to make our chocolate more liquidy and not as solid when you put it in the freezer and then keep it in the fridge at the end of the day. And off to the freezer they go for now. Meanwhile, we're going to prepare the most complicated part of our pistachio s'mores. We're going to make homemade marshmallows. Now, the version of the marshmallows that I'm going to make contains some gelatin, so it's not a vegan version. But I know a vegan one and it's really tasty. So if you would like, I can make another video and show the vegan adaptation of marshmallows or s'mores and make sure to make something exciting as well. And now let's start with this one. First, I'm going to mix my gelatin powder with ice cold water. And now let it bloom for at least 15 minutes. Meanwhile, we can prepare our sugary base consisting of syrup, sugar and water. I'm going to mix everything together and bring it to 240 degrees Fahrenheit. Now you're going to use your preferably stand mixer to mix together your gelatin, Baileys, and if you want to have a little bit more firmer consistency of your final product, of your final marshmallows, you can use a little bit of xanthan gum as well and mix it at this stage. Once it's all mixed, you will slowly start adding your sugary mixture on the side of your bowl and keep on mixing for about 15 to 20 minutes until medium peaks. And I totally forgot to mention, for the pistachio, we are going to also add a little bit of green coloring. And now I'm going to form canals with my green marshmallow and put them inside our shells. Okay guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it already, and I'll see you in the next video.